So I haven't been uploading videos lately because I've been getting my van painted in Tijuana. So it's been down there for a month and a half, and flying down there today to pick it up. Fly into San Diego, and then walk across the border, pick it up. Okay, so now we just dropped off all of our luggage at our friend Tim's house. We're gonna go get some lunch, and then we're heading across the border to get my van. So we just hopped off the trolley, and now we're heading over the border right there. It's down that little alley there. But there's my van. Should be getting polished. Looks like this is my van right here. Ooh, wow.
Gonna put my fingernail into it?
Wow, look at that stripe.
That is a good color.
Not quite ready. I'm missing a panel right here. Missing some panels here. That's not ready at all. So our van was not done. We're gonna have to come back tomorrow morning at noon. We gotta put the lights back in. We gotta finish polishing it. We gotta put the grill in. Door latches, door handles, all that crap. So we're coming back tomorrow at noon. Right now we're on our way back to San Diego. There's the border, Mexican looking at the US. It's the racetrack they have you come in on. Back through the border again. Back through the border again.
Snack time!
So heading back across the border again. Check on the van, see how it's doing. Sounds like they dropped to do something, so I might be here for a couple days more. Haven't seen that before. So I'm back at the garage. I'm gonna see what it looks like. Hola. Hola. Hey there. You sorting it out?
Sí.
Okay, cool. You gotta do some paint here?
Sí. Y hay pintura que hay que...
Oh wow, it took a lot to get it off over there, huh?
Sí.
It looks pretty banged up.
Así es, botar y ya está.
Oh man, you had to... You pulled that whole thing off, huh?
Sí, está pegado. Este es el saco.
I did this weird thing with the seat swivels in front of my van. And I asked him to basically cut the rails to the seat off of the van, put some mounting bolts in its place, take the original rails and mount them to the swivel. Yeah, I think right now I'm really regretting that I did. They just like took a hammer to it basically to rip off the old seat rails. And now all that sheet metal there is all damaged. And they say they can make it right, but you know, I have my doubts. So they're gonna try to clean it up and give them 2 more days to do it. And you know, we'll see what it looks like when we get all done. But yeah, they kind of beat the shit out of where the seat rails used to be. So see what it ends up looking like.
Abajo tiene una... ¿Quieres maguaye? No, ya. ¿Qué onda? Pero no se va. Uno
Alright, so I just picked up my van from Los Panchos. It's all done, looks fantastic. They had to touch up some stuff on the inside, so there's paint drying inside the van right now. So I'm going to go back tomorrow morning and have them finish it up. They just need to polish it a little bit, and I'm sure it'll look fantastic. The paint work they've done looks terrific. I asked them to do some metal work, and they really did a shitty job of it. And then they realized that they really can't do it at all. So they started trying to put it all back the way it was by welding things back the original way it was. And it worried me so much that I rushed over there and I just stopped them from doing all the work and just said, you know, just give me a driver's seat and then I'll take it from there, you know. So I'm driving in my van. I don't know if you can hear that, but there's a big whistling coming from my van. Hope we can get that fixed. Alright, so it's the morning. I picked up my van yesterday, and I'm going back today to get them to finish polishing some stuff. Let's take a look at the van. Looks pretty good. The stripe looks great. Everything's really shiny and polished. Really looks fantastic. Some parts they got the stripe down here. Looks pretty good. There's a little blem right there, but it's nothing bad. Stripe going all the way around, then they got it over on this side too. So you got a little metallic in there, and then it looks good, right? Alright, so I'm heading back into Mexico today. I picked it up yesterday, and there was still some paint drying. They had to fix something right when I went to pick it up, so we needed to let the paint dry, so I'm heading back in. They're going to polish up that area, polish up a couple little other areas. I got a list of some minor things I need them to fix, like that window there, the little triangle. They didn't quite get that in right, so I gotta have them fix that. It whistles like the super loud. So and that's it. I'll let you know on the other side. Okay, word to the wise when you're going into Mexico: stay right. It's a lot faster. So I finally got my car, it's all done. Now I'm heading back across the border. It's about 3:30 in the afternoon, and the line is just mind-blowingly long. I'm here at that little blue dot, and the border is way over there. I've gone maybe 100 yards, and I probably have a mile to go. So part of this economy that exists in the traffic leading up to the U.S. border is there's essentially a flea market on the side of the road. There's this whole thing going along all through here and all the way down there. And this is just where all those vendors come from. They come and roll out of these shops, and then they walk up and down just trying to sell and hawk their wares. So here I am, been sitting here for 3.5 hours in line. It's now dark. It was 3:45 when I got into line, and now this is where we are. Sun just set. Okay, so I've been back in SF a few days, and I wanted to go over a few things. I had two issues really with my paint job, and that was about it. The cause of both of them was the same. It was poor communication. A good example is this stripe here. So I went down about halfway through, a few weeks in, and just to check on how things were going. And at that time, they brought to my attention that this Wolfsburg medallion was probably going to get in the way of them doing a perfect stripe. And so they wanted to know whether I wanted it off or whether I wanted to work with it. And I thought about it for a little while and decided that the medallion would be like a nice to have. So I told them over and over, like, prioritize the stripe, get the stripe right. But then additionally, so after you pull the medallion off, get the stripe the way you want it. And then if you wanted to put the medallion back on, if you thought that would look good, or if you could move the medallion, or maybe cut a semicircle out of your stripe so it gives it a nice little border and reveal. But if it's too difficult, just forget about the medallion, you know, like prioritize the stripe. And from my experience working with Americans and various little projects I've had, like, they'd be able to handle that judgment call. They'd be able to handle that nuance and think about it and decide on it for me. And most of the time, I'm like far more excited with what they came up with as a solution than what I had even imagined in the first place, right? But down there with the language barrier and everything, that nuance just gets lost. And so what I'm sure got passed to the paint guy, who's a pro at doing these stripes and knew what a good stripe would look like because he brought it to my attention in the first place. What got told to him, I'm sure, was give me the medallion and the stripe. And all that nuance was lost. And so I end up with something that wasn't what I wanted. So if you do go down and get this done, make sure, if anything is, don't leave anything to be a judgment call. If anything is brought to your attention, or if anything is complex, stay there, put in the time, have them call somebody over and tear a part off of your van, or to walk through exactly how you want things and try to mock it up right there. Try to solve the difficult problems while you're there and then give them specifically what you want. And things will probably go a lot better. Don't leave anything to be a judgment call. Don't leave anything ambiguous. Don't give them two priorities, give them one priority. Because things will get lost in translation. The other problem I had was this thing with the seat rails that I was trying to do. Again, the problem is communication. Again, I gave them something that was a judgment call. Should not have done that. So I brought down a set of seat swivels, and I really wanted, to do something pretty complex with them. These aftermarket swivels I bought, they don't let the seat go back far enough. It's a very uncomfortable driving position, and what I noticed is the factory rails that are in my van are much longer than what comes with the swivels. So I was wondering if they could cut off the seat rails that are on my van. It looked fairly doable. And take off the seat rails that were on the swivel, and then weld the seat rails from the van onto the swivel, and then put some mounting bolts onto the van so that I could bolt the swivel directly down. It's fairly complex, and I knew this was probably going to be a bit of a reach for them, but I didn't know, what they have access to. If they have some, metal workers down the street that might be able to do this. I asked him whether or not he thought he could do this, or if he knew somebody who might be able to do this. And he was a little unsure, but said, he could do it. And I basically told him, like, if this is too complex, or if you don't think this is going to work out, just don't do it. It's not a big deal. I'd rather have you not do it than do it and do a bad job. So only take on this work if you think you can do it. If I come down, or if you start looking into it, or you finally get a hold of the guy that's going to do this, and he says, whoa, that's a tough job, don't do it. Again, should not have left that to be a judgment thing. Like, at that moment, we should have got a hold of whoever, found a welder down the street that he thought was going to be able to do it, or one of his own guys that he thought was going to be able to do it, and figured that out right then, whether or not we were going to do that work. So again, my seat rails are trashed. My van is damaged almost beyond repair. I have an idea how we're gonna fix it, and luckily I have a friend that's exceptional with metal, and he's agreed to help me out trying to repair this. But the messed up thing is that they waited until I was there to pick up my van before they started on this really complex project. So this is what happened. So these are the seat rails. First they cut them off. Then they were supposed to put a seat swivel down in its place. They weren't able to do that, so then they took the original seat rails and started trying to put them back on. And they did a terrible job. I mean, look at the seat rail, it's not even lined up. This is trashed. Both seat rails are bent from when they tried to take them off, so they curve at an angle like this. You can see on this side, like that's not even flat anymore, and the same's going on with this one. You see it down the end, it's all curved. And then this is all banged in, and the same's true over there. And then they trashed this hole here, trying to bang it up, trying to get it back flat again. With regards to whether or not you should get your van painted in Mexico, it's not showroom quality. It's a great paint job, but there's little blums here and there. For the most part, they know what they're doing. 99.999% of my van looks like a mirror and looks perfect. The whole cost of this paint, inside and out with the stripe, and what they were charging me to modify the seat rails, even though that was a catastrophe, was $3,000. Here in San Francisco, less work than that would cost me $12,000. So it's a significant savings. I don't really think there's much to worry about. The paint place that I went to was Los Panchos. It was a short walk from the border. One of the guy who ran it speaks English. He used to live in the States for a while. But everyone else there speaks Spanish. If you do speak Spanish, or if you can bring a friend that speaks Spanish, that might be even better, because then you can speak directly to the guys that are actually doing the work. You can speak directly to the guy that does the stripes. They're very good at matching the color. The color of my van is almost exactly what it was before. The color of the stripe is exactly what I picked it out to be. For the most part, my van looks perfect. Stick to is our core competency. Paint, upholstery, bodywork. They're very good at that. Popping windows in and out, new rubber. They're good at what they do. It's not showroom quality. Be clear with what you want. Don't leave anything to be a judgment call. Take the time, figure it out, have them call the guy over, have them pull whatever it is off of your van that you're talking about and see how it really would lay out. Have them draw things on the van with tape, make sure it's exactly the way you want it to be. The last thing I would say is make a firm deadline. It only takes them about 3 weeks to do your whole van. So if they say it's going to take longer than that, that's because they're pushing other work there. You don't want to be the guy or the car that they're going to when they have no other work to do. When I was there, I saw a car that had been there for a year, and the guy explained to me that that's basically, they only work on that car when they don't have any other work to do. So all the small jobs that come, they always prioritize those. So you want to set a firm date. Before that date, you want to start calling him, asking him where it is. Really, probably twice a week, you want to call them and ask them how it's going, put some pressure on them, because they will delay. I was going down there to pick up my van. I called them about 4 days before I went to see if they had it done yet, see where it was, and they hadn't even started painting. So they said all the body work was done, but they hadn't even begun paint. So they were able to paint my van in 4 days. So call them, keep on them, set a hard date, say you have to be somewhere in your van or your car. And then make sure that they're doing the work. Go down and check on it, give them a call, see how it's coming. And that's pretty much true of any place you're going to get your van worked on extensively like that. They all seem to be about that way. I feel like the quality of the work that they did is very good, with the exception of the advanced thing that I asked them to do that was way outside their scope of expertise. Yeah, that's about it. If you want to get your van painted in Mexico, I feel it's pretty safe. They want to do a good job. Have at it.